want to make a baby. Super, super exciting time. But there's a lot of things to consider before you jump down that path of being a parent or being a parent again, that you should really consider months before you're even going to conceive, if at all possible. Don't get me wrong, like 50% of all pregnancies aren't planned. So there's going to be plenty of people who are probably going, yeah, we skipped that step. That's fine. That's just the way that it was meant to be. But if you do have a plan in place and you are a little bit more type A and you do like to control things, and October sounds like a great time to have a baby, so you're going to plan it and it's going to happen. It doesn't always work that way either. For a lot of couples, it takes 6 to 12 months for some couples to conceive. And that doesn't mean that anybody's broken. It just means that that's the time that you were meant to conceive. Are there ways to stack the deck in your favor? Oh, heck yes. There are tons of ways that you can encourage your body and your partner's body into actually conceiving and making a baby. I would say the first step of this, if you're really trying to plan things out and map things out and be on top of what's going on with your body, you want to start about 6 months out, at which point you're going to start to think about, how's your diet? There's a lot that your nutrition contributes to both the sperm and the egg, their health and well-being individually, and then the health and well-being of your baby before your baby is even conceived. So there's certain things you want to make sure that you have in your diet. Water, lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of water. It's something as simple and as basic as what I tell my kids. If you're going to wash your body on the outside, you should probably also wash your body on the inside. Our body filters through a lot of stuff on a daily basis. Water just washes it away. That way you really get rid of all the waste. The last thing you need floating around in your body when you're thinking about conceiving a baby is a bunch of waste. So then let's talk about some other basic nutritional things that you can do that will really help support your body, help support your partner's body, and make sure that we're conceiving a happy, healthy baby. Basically, if it comes from a box or a bag, you should probably not be eating very much of it. You want to try to eliminate as many processed foods from your diet as humanly possible. You would be amazed at the things that are in our food that aren't even really food at all. And they make a major effect on our hormones. Sperm count over the past 50 years has dropped by 60% in most men. So what men had 50 years ago for sperm count is 60% less now. What are we doing different? We can definitely boost your partner's sperm in swimmers. We'll get them to the goal. They'll get there to tap in and say, hey, here I am, so that the egg gets to make her choice on which sperm she's going to let fertilize her. But things to keep in mind, those processed foods, they really do a number on your system. Next, you really want to make sure that you're getting plenty of probiotic-rich foods in your diet. You want a nice, happy, healthy gut biome so that all of your health and your immune system just starts in your gut. And if you don't have the probiotics there to help digest the food, you're not getting the most out of your food that you could either. Other things to keep in mind, plenty of fresh fruits and vegetables. It's easy for me to say that when it's the middle of July and all these things are in abundance. But it's also important in February to make sure that you're really filling those holes. And speaking of holes, how do you make sure that you are filling all those holes? How do you make sure that you are eating enough of every food? You can't spend all day, every day, or at least you shouldn't spend all day obsessing over, did I get enough vitamin A today? Did I get enough folate today? Did I get enough vitamin D today? Oh gosh, almost forgot about calcium. Did I get enough calcium today? You can't overanalyze everything. So that's where a good, healthy, high quality, food-based prenatal, notice I said food-based, not Whole Foods brand, it's Whole Foods based prenatal. That basically means that they're getting all of the vitamins and nutrients in the prenatal from food. So when you ingest it, your body goes, oh, food vitamin A. I know what to do with that. I know where to put that. And it's utilized appropriately. If it's a synthetic form, it's kind of iffy how much of that you're actually going to absorb. And if you do absorb it, how much of it you're going to actually use, when in reality, a lot of the prenatals that are not Whole Foods based, you're losing most of them in your urine and probably the rest in your stool. Which is such a waste. Yes, our Whole Foods based prenatals usually slightly pricier than the non-Whole Foods based ones, sure, because they're taking good high quality food to make the prenatal. And And I definitely have a list on Amazon. If anybody's interested, I can certainly link you to that so that you can see a lot of the prenatals and other supplements. Prenatals are great. They're kind of like your multivitamin. They kind of take care of very broad holes that you might have in your diet. If you're vegan or vegetarian, you have a different set of holes that you need to fill. So sometimes you have to be a little bit more specific to make sure that you're hitting all of your bases that you want to hit to make sure that your body is functioning at its peak performance. Pregnancy is definitely a journey, and sometimes it's a hard road between all of the different symptoms that you might experience, emotionally, things that you're processing through. You definitely need your body to be performing at its peak if you are looking forward to pregnancy. So other things to keep in mind for your diet: fresh fruits and vegetables, of course, all the time, all that you can get in, but also there's some major building blocks for a baby that are super important to make sure that your levels are where they should be. You really want to make sure that you're eating enough protein every day. Your heart's a muscle, your uterus is a muscle, your man's partner is a muscle. You want to make sure that all of those things have plenty of protein and they're not getting weaker. If you're not eating enough protein on a daily basis, your body goes and takes muscle indiscriminately from all of those places. So you really want to make sure that just all day long, you're eating little bits of happy, healthy proteins. Does this mean that you have to have a quarter cow delivered to your house today? No, it doesn't. You should actually vary your diet a good bit. Having chicken, having fishes that are rich in those omega-3s and omega-6 fatty acids. Those are so important for health and wellness of, again, sperm quality and the environment that your baby is going to be implanting into. You want to make sure we've had plenty of healthy fats. What else can you get healthy fats from? Obviously, fantastic fish like salmon. It's a great way to go. Other options for healthy fats: simple, olive oil. Easy peasy, we all already have that here in our house. Coconut oil, another great healthy fat. Egg yolks, they have tons of healthy fat. And believe it or not, that healthy fat your baby's going to need for their first 2 years of life too. So that's where having your baby eat some eggs is probably a great idea, and making sure that you eat plenty of eggs during your pregnancy is also a really great idea. So those are a few ways. There's also some essential oils that can help. Sandalwood for women is a natural aphrodisiac, but it also does help improve sperm quality. The citrus oils kind of wake you up, get you ready after a very long day to think about some baby making, give you a little extra energy. So those are some great options as well as far as essential oils. Geranium also does a ton of amazing things for the body to prepare for fertility, kind of like clary sage. They both kind of go hand in hand, but they stimulate extra salivary estrogen. So that helps with anxiety, eases depressive moods. Both of those things can really affect your fertility. You really want to make sure that you're in a good mindset for your fertility. Thinking about making a baby should be a fun idea, not a chore. And if it's turned into a chore, it's time to take back the reins a little bit and say, you know what? We're supposed to be having fun while doing this. We're not going to focus so much on timing and placement. And for most couples, once you finally do let go of the reins and say, it'll happen when it happens, that's usually when you do make a baby, because your body is saying, oh, everything's safe, everything's well. We still have a part of our brain that still does a whole lot of caveman thinking. And if we're constantly on high alert and we're constantly concerned about, oh, is this going to be the time? Am I having intercourse at exactly the right moment that my egg has been released? It's not like that. That's not how your body was made to work. We're supposed to enjoy sex. Did you know that when women have an orgasm, the muscle contractions that we have actually move the sperm closer to the egg? Our body was made to be enjoyed. Why would we let that turn into such a chore? That's not any fun. You and your partner should be saying, hey, I've got some time. And they would say, oh, you do? Try that. Tell your partner, hey, I have some time. I was thinking that we could spend some time together naked. Why not? It's super fun. It should be a very, very fun and exciting time, not a chore. So mentally get yourself into the headspace of that. Can that be daily meditation? Absolutely. Find some positive affirmations about conception, about being a parent. Start talking about yourself as a parent, even though the baby's not quite there in your belly yet. The more you talk about it, the more you welcome it in, the more you invite it, the more it's going to come in its perfect timing. So how do you keep sex fun whenever you're definitely trying to be on top of what's my cervical mucus doing? What is my basal body temperature? Have I noticed any changes in my cervix's location? Oh my goodness, my partner smells amazing today. That should be the one thing that you're paying the most attention to. Women actually smell differently to their partners when they're ovulating. They attract that like bees to honey. You'll notice strangers opening doors for you, saying hello to you, making eye contact with you. On a physical level, their body can identify that you're ovulating. It didn't take them to checking your temperature. No one had to touch your cervix, and no one had to check your cervical mucus. They can tell just by smelling you. And when your partner comes home from work and you're normally like, oh, could you please take off the grubby clothes? You smell. You're dirty. I don't want all that dirt tracked through my house. Suddenly they're going to come home and you're going to say, oh, well, hello, stranger. Where have you been all day? And you suddenly have more interest in your partner than you've ever had. It's a pretty good indicator you're ovulating, and it's a pretty good indicator you should follow that, especially if you want to make a baby. Because those things are just naturally the way we're hardwired. Biologically, it's just how it works. So take time to really enjoy your partner. Should sex be 5 minutes of, wow, that was really great? No, plan sex dates. It's good for your relationship. Parents who already have children, it's important for your relationship. Parents whose children have already left the house, it's important for your relationship. You should have sex dates. Now, I tell everybody that are my clients, you should have a 2 to 3 hour sex date every 1 to 2 weeks. Does that mean 2 to 3 hours of penetration? It does not. I say that to people, and the men tend to go, oh, it's a lot of pressure, 2 to 3 hours. I just don't know. And the wife just giggles. And the reality of it is, it's 2 to 3 hours of being naked with your partner. That's all. 2 to 3 hours. You might not have any penetration at all whatsoever, and that's okay too. You're just having time being intimate with your partner. You're naked physically. Try fighting naked. It's really hard. If you're starting to have a fight, insist that the rule is if you're going to fight, you're going to have to do it naked. Promise you the fight won't last very long. But it's 2 to 3 hours for that sex date of just being naked with your partner. What does that look like? You get naked with your partner. I don't care. Go to an Airbnb. Go to a hotel. Go to the guest bedroom. I don't care if you go in your backyard as long as you don't have creepy peeper neighbors. That's totally fine. But just be naked. Let your heart open. Women, unzip your heart. Let all your feelings come out. Share them with the man. Men, handle the feelings. Just realize that they're not yours. Realize most of the time you don't have to do anything besides hear about them. And then once she starts to get all those things out of her that are holding her back from connecting in with you, and she can take all of that and set it aside, she's now ready and open to connect with you. Her heart's already unzipped and wide open for you. Now is your time to step in and tell her what you think of her. Let her know how much you appreciate her. And ladies, do the same thing. Just spend some time being raw, being real, saying, you know, I haven't really talked about this, but this is really bugging me. It has nothing to do with you. Maybe it does have something to do with them, but just be kind of raw and then see where allowing all of this emotional connection goes whenever you go to have physical connection. It's a completely different experience than hustling. Parents with toddlers, here's your total caveat. I totally get it. You're exhausted. You're tired. You just want to go to bed. And you kind of, for moms who are breastfeeding, it's just kind of nice sometimes to have your body to yourself and have nobody touching you, even if it's just for 10 or 15 minutes. But there can be time for this intimacy. You just have to schedule it. The best time of day for sex, whether you're trying to conceive or whether you're just trying to empower your relationship to be stronger, first thing in the morning. Every single study out there says the same thing. You're awake, you're rested, the day has started, and what a great start to the day. You can definitely make time for that, even if you're just getting up 15 minutes early and you just give a quick check-in with your partner and you say, are you ready to start the race today? And they'll probably say, I don't know. And you'll say, well, we're starting the race today, whether you like it or not. And then just invite your partner to start sharing, even if it's just one challenge of the week and one thing that they're super proud of or something that really built them up or really put them in a good spot. even if you're just doing a couple of things a piece, it still creates this emotional connection before you start into the physical connection. And it's funny, we all forget what it was like to first start dating our partner and how you only saw them here and there. That's kind of like being a parent and being married. You're both going in opposite directions. You kind of check in and see each other briefly for a meal, and then you got to check back out. It's the same as when we're dating, but when we're dating, we're excited to share things with our partner. We make time for them in the midst of all of the crazy. And it's not necessarily that we have to throw away all of our other responsibilities and ignore them. That's not true. We didn't do that when we were dating either. But you made intentional time, even if it wasn't a ton of time. So now that you're in a relationship and now that things are harder and now that you guys are doing a very, very important job in preparing to have the most important job on the planet, which is being a parent, you want to make sure that you solidly have a partner. You build that partner by the more time that you invest in each other. So make it intentional. Get a sitter. Find somebody. There's got to be a teenager who wants to make money, who's safe and responsible. If not, most of us have grandparents somewhere close by or a close friend that we could say, hey, I'm sure you'd like some time with your partner, and I'd really like some time with mine. Why don't we swap kiddos? Every other week, we get to have an evening where we're having pizza and a movie, and the other set of parents get to go somewhere else and have a really good time together. So now that you've spent, I don't know, 15 or 20 minutes with me, what are you doing wasting your time watching this video anymore? Go plan a sex date. Go do something fun. Start the process of getting things going. And if you're following along and journaling with me, I want to know, number one, why do you want to become a parent? And I want to know, what were your favorite things about your parents? What challenges did you see your parents have that you think you might also deal with? And I would like you to journal also about the most painful thing that you experienced as a child from your parents. And I want you to intention to share that with your partner, just so that you have a minute to feel heard, so that you can get that out, so that you don't have to carry that yourself anymore, and so that you allow your body and your mind and your heart and your spirit a chance to heal from that. Sometimes your partner might already know, but you could let them know, hey, I was working on clearing some things, getting ready to make this baby with you, and this was one thing I really wanted to get off of my chest. And then follow it up with one way that you are so excited to see your partner as a parent as well. So that's it. Bye, guys. Go have fun making babies. See ya.